It's about the restoration of our republic. We want to educate, encourage, enable the power. We stand for integrity, honesty, self-reliance, self-defense, and most importantly, no compromise on our foundational principles. This is America's Voice Now.
Find America's Voice Now on Facebook and at americasvoicenow.org. Here's Michael Evans.
Ooh. All right. You're listening to America's Voice Now. My name is Michael Evans. I'm your host. We're in our third segment of the day. Thanks for joining with us. We appreciate you taking the time to participate with our program. You know, AVN is a valuable program to a lot of folks. I get comments and emails and phone calls every day about it. I get hundreds and hundreds of emails every day. So it's hard for me to keep up. If you want to get my attention about something specific, please make sure that you note it in the subject line because there are so many emails, it's hard for me to keep track. If you listen to our last segment about Oath Keepers, please put something in the subject line that says Oath Keepers, Civilian Preservation Team or something like that so that I get and I can pay special attention to it. I got a request, by the way. If you're one of those guys who sends me chain mails all the time, do me a favor. Stop clogging up my email box with that stuff. I get so much of that. It's amazing to me. It's actually, it's painful. There's so much of it, you know. I know people want to share stories with me, and I want to see those. But there are these people who constantly send me this chain stuff, and I don't like it. I don't want it. Most of it's not even accurate. I get these people who send me junk all the time. And if you're one of those guys who's constantly sending me stuff, that is forwarded, please. Please use caution when you approach my email account, okay? I mean, respect me enough to not clog me up with a bunch of junk. I really don't like it. And, I get some value out of very, very little of it, but the vast majority of it is just junk. And a lot of stuff I'm already aware of. I get stuff from people, and I've already done a show on that 2 days before. I'm like, well, what the heck are you sending me this for? Are you not paying attention? Are you not watching? So, I want communication with our listenership. I just want you guys to be cognizant of the fact that, I do this as a voluntary effort. I'm not Bill O'Reilly or Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham or Michael Savage, and I've got 9 staff sitting there, scanning my email all day. I don't have that luxury, right? This is a voluntary effort. I do this completely free of charge. I don't get paid for it. There's no money associated with this. I got to run a day job. I run a web development business. So I don't really have the time to sit and go through everybody's, personal psychosis. Please be conscious and cognizant of that. I would have greatly appreciated if you would be helpful with me in that regard. Okay? All right. The $2 billion data center that has been built is literally going up in flames. Literally, folks. This isn't like, figuratively going up in flames. It has been lighting on fire, as in, fire engines, technical glitches in the system, the electrical system that they've developed for this has been so have been so deleterious to this thing that for the last 13 months they've had 10 electrical surges that have cost over $100,000 in damages. Each. They've had 13 of these blow-ups in the last year alone. And no wonder it's $2 billion. It's now $2.1 billion, $2.3 billion because these damages are costing, they have to go in and repair them. The system requires, get this, 64 megawatts of electricity to run. Guys, you can run major cities on 1 megawatt. The electricity bill here for the NSA data center, which isn't even open yet, is $1 million a month. And it's not enough. it can't run all their computers and servers, and it cannot run all of the cooling and air conditioning systems that are necessary to keep a massive hard drive like this from becoming for all intents and purposes, achieving nuclear reactor levels of heat. You know, I've spent most of my professional corporate life in the high technology industry with Verizon Communications and Nortel Networks, working with communication systems and server farms. Guys, these buildings get very, very hot. I mean, if you walk into a server room, they have air conditioning systems in there that would, without the computers running, you could, the room would be in deep freeze lockdown. Those rooms can be kept so cold. And yet they're room temperature when you walk in, just because the computers generate so much heat. $1 million a month energy bill, and it's not strong enough. The company that built the system is out of Pennsylvania. It's called Kling Stubbins. With a name like Kling Stubbins, I'm not surprised. They say that they've uncovered the issue and they're working on an implementation to fix it. Well, it's been 13 months. It's cost them $1.3 million in repairs alone. And according to the Army Corps of Engineers, who have gone in there to try to oversee the problem, it's not the contractor is blowing smoke. They say that the meltdowns are not yet sufficiently understood. I mean, wow, right? A report in the by ACE, the Army Corps of Engineers, in the Wall Street Journal says the government has incomplete information about the design of the electrical system that could pose problems if settings need to be changed on circuit breakers. The report says that regular quality controls in design and construction were bypassed in an effort to fast-track the project. Just out of curiosity, this begs the obvious question. Why do we have to fast-track an NSA data center that's big enough to store all the dossiers on every American, every phone call, email, transaction, financial record, this, that, the next thing? Because this government is preparing to go to war against its own citizens. I've been saying this forever. Some of you get it. Some of you don't. I don't know what you're waiting for. The evidence is all around you. The United States of America and the federal government in particular are building up the ability to go to war against you in an authoritarian and totalitarian lockdown and a complete turnabout of the rule of law. They are going to eviscerate this Constitution, and at some point in our near and or immediate future, we are going to be in a civil war. And it's not going to be a civil war between states. It's going to be a civil war between the federal government and the citizens and many state governments. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the simple fact. They're destroying the economy. They're going to have to go to war against us because this is unsustainable. We're broke. We're bankrupt. The nation is destroyed. $17 trillion in debt that's immediately visible to debt. $126 trillion in unfunded liabilities. And, hold on, $628 trillion in currency and credit derivatives. You heard me right. $628 trillion. That's not billion, folks. $628 trillion. Now, for the record, the total assets in the country between small business, personal assets, including, everything from your house to your car to the iPod in your pocket. Small business assets, corporate assets, household assets, the total of all national assets is only $104 trillion. We've exceeded that by 8 times. We are in insolvency. We're bankrupt. It's done. It's finished. They just haven't told you through the Ministry of Propaganda and the mainstream media that it's been done. We're finished. It's over. The news just hasn't been leaked yet. And that's why they're in a hurry to build this $2 billion boondoggle, because they need a way, like every police state, to keep track of everybody. And now, for the first time in history, there's the technological capability to actually do that. It wasn't available during Hitler's reign. It wasn't available during Stalin's run. It wasn't available when Pol Pot was out there. It wasn't available when Mao was going and doing this. But now it's available. And they're monitoring everything about everybody, and they're building dossiers on you because it's the first time that have ever been able to, and then they're using Obamacare, by the way, to make sure that they catch up anybody and snap up anybody who is not on the internet. Get it? Well, the people in rural America, and by the way, there's some 25% of the country that doesn't have internet access at all. So how does the NSA grab them? Okay, well, we make them apply for Obamacare. By law, we make them apply. Guess what? We get to build their dossier. That's the first opening file. You don't get it. I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you. But, I mean, look, it's as plain as the nose on your face if you're just willing to look. The Utah data center is the largest of several of these new NSA data centers that are being built around the country. And with Snowden's releases last year of all of the information and all of the world is finally aware of what's going on. But apparently, I guess, I don't know, I got to assume that everybody's taking too much Prozac or something, because right now, based on what's happening in our nation, we should be marching on the Capitol with pitchforks and torches saying, send out the monsters. I wrote a plan. It's on americasvoicenow.org. It's called The Plan to Take Back America. Place all state and federal capitals under civil disobedience siege. Hey, guys, I don't know what we're waiting for. I can't do it alone. I mean, I can stand there and put them under siege, and they'll shoot me from 1,000 yards out, and none of you will ever be the wiser, except I won't be here the following day. It takes massive volumes of us. There has to be millions of Americans who say, we've had enough, and we're not going to take it anymore. People, this is our country. And if you're so apathetic or so dumbed down by Prozac or Zoloft or whatever other kind of antidepressant they got you on, get off of it and help us, please, before we all end up enslaved, literally and figuratively. We're already enslaved in debt. Now they want to add another $1.1 trillion to the debt. The government is on the verge of going into default, which, by the way, Moody's came out yesterday and said that's a bunch of crap. There's nothing that would prohibit this government from continuing to pay its obligations. This $1.1 trillion they're asking for is not to cover our debts like the president is lying to you about. This is to spend more money that we don't have. It's not to cover our old debt. We have more than enough income to cover our debt. He wants to get another $1.1 trillion so he can build more of these NSA data centers. He can spy on you better. Let's not give him the chance. I don't want to pay for my demise. And unless I have your help to stop it, you're forcing me to pay for my own demise because you're unwilling to help me fight back. I don't know what more you need to hear, people. We're going to take a break. You're listening to America's Voice Now. I'm so frustrated with America because to me, it's like, I don't understand why nobody's willing to step up and do the right thing. I don't get it. It's incomprehensible to me. You know, I get it that it's going to be a massive change. Everybody's going to be cold and hungry and wet and tired and frustrated. You know what? If you think slavery is going to be better, you're going to have another thing coming. You're listening to America's Voice Now. Find us on the web at americasvoicenow.org. YouTube.com/America's Voice Now to find every show that we do on video streamed, and we capture it all and then put it up there for you to share with your friends. Pay attention if you can't catch a show live. You can visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/America's Voice Now. You can send me email to mike@americasvoicenow.org. Stay in touch with us. Pay attention. Fight. Quit being a chicken. Quit being chicken. It's our country. If you cower now, you'll really cower when they pull out the whips. Whew. Stop asking for your slave master to stop beating you. Just force him to stop beating you. I'll be right back.